sharing hope and inspiration. Podcasts, we've been broken, we've been bruised, but we rise, we never lose. Ooh, turn the pain into a mission. Now we're speaking, now we're living. From victims, for victors, hear the sound. Victims to victors, hear the sound. Lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation. Sharing hope and inspiration. From victims to victors, hear the sound. Lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation. Sharing hope and inspiration podcast.
Hey,
Good evening.
welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Sharing Hope and Inspiration podcast, where we turn stories into strength and advocacy into action. I'm your host, Jim, and today I will be speaking to Denise Jackson. She is the CEO and founder of the Shy Foundation. She is also on the front lines doing the work. She is a domestic violence advocate serving survivors of all ages, backgrounds with compassion, courage, and conviction, from safe houses to courtrooms, from crisis calls to community healing. Denise knows what it takes to stand in the gap to help survivors reclaim their lives. So, welcome to your own podcast. How you doing?
Hey, Jim. I'm good. How are you?
I am well. So everybody knows that you're the founder and CEO of the Shy Foundation, and a lot of people know about your story. But when we say that you do the work, like, I don't think people really understand what that entails. And so I felt it was important for us to kind of break that down so they could actually know what it takes to be an advocate and just a day in the life of an advocate, like all this stuff. Because I, talk to you afterwards when you've gone to different safe houses, or you had to, run different errands, and or when you got the, get different crisis calls. But I think it's important for the public to know and our supporters to know, like, what it all entails. And you can most definitely inspire others to want to take part and become an advocate as well. So thank you for sharing this part, because you don't talk out loud a lot about it. I know you do it, but you don't really talk about it too much. So thank you for even opening up to share what you can share about it with us.
You're welcome. I just move in silence. I just do what I have to do um in the background. You
Yeah,
know, they see Denise the nana, Denise the bartender, Denise the wife, Denise the mother, but the advocacy side, I barely show.
right.
Opposed to when we're doing, different events throughout the community. But outside of that, I just move in silence.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't get to see the more intimate side of advocacy. So we're gonna just get into it. Um Bear with me. It's been a long day. No. It's
It has been a long day.
been a long day.
I know you done had a long day.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna start just talking about advocacy from the front lines, what that looks like. So what inspired you to become an advocate for victims of domestic
Um,
violence?
the loss of Shy and my need to help others to navigate through their trauma and their abuse. Um, Oftentimes, if something does not affect us directly, we do not dive into it. And for me, I've always been one of those persons with my kids growing up to take them to different neighborhoods to see what it's like to be without. So I've always had focus on helping the underprivileged, but not one time did I ever think that I will be diving into domestic violence. So that was something that I did not touch until I lost Shy. And it was like at that point I was like, this is real. Like this is real life stuff. Because you would hear stories or you would talk to friends that may have been involved and you would give your advice, but you never really dove deep into it. So it was with me losing Shy is really what pushed me towards it.
Right. And sometimes when we talk to our friends about it, or people we may know that go through domestic situations, it stops at just talking. But
Hmm.
being an advocate, you take it a little bit further, and what happens after the words, like who's doing the work, who's reaching out, who's supporting, and that's when you come into play.
Right.
How did your first experience working with a
Mhm.
survivor shape the way you approach this work?
It really it shaped me in several ways, like in several different ways. Um, it highlighted the challenges that survivors face, emphasizing the need to understand and to support them. It taught me the underlying misconceptions about domestic violence, which is understanding and supporting them, and listening to them. And it inspired me. It shaped me in a way where I was able to use my own journey to navigate more towards helping other survivors. So it shaped me in many ways than one, and it's like I now understand the gratitude when it comes to survivors. Um Especially even with me, with those who stood by me and understood me in the midst of all that I've endured. So it gave me more of a need.
Hmm.
It shaped me in a way where I feel like this is my purpose and this is what I must do. You know. I
I
feel.
ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. When you first decided to step into this realm, I became very nervous. Because at this time, like any little thing I didn't want to trigger you. And
Right.
I was like, I wasn't sure how you would handle it, being that you were seeing different DV situations that were so similar
Hmm.
what you went through with Shy, and so I was like, I don't know how she gonna do. I know one particular case you came up with, the young lady was in the hospital, and I was like, I don't know how she gonna do this. Like I didn't know how you were gonna hold it together, and not internalize, what you were seeing, and so I became very nervous. But I'm not gonna lie, you surprised me. Um, I see you take, your passion, and it drives you through a lot of those situations. But it was very touch and go for me. I was nervous. I was like, please, I don't need no setbacks with this lady. We doing good. But I don't think anybody could have deterred you away from this. It's something that like you felt like you needed to do, and so I was like, okay, we're just gonna take it day by
Day
day.
by day.
Goodness,
Day
I
by day.
sheesh, I was so nervous. But what does a typical day look like for you when you're supporting this delicate population of individuals?
A typical day for me involves a range of things, a wide range of things. It involves individual counseling. It involves criminal hearings. It involves trial. It involves reaching out, resource lines, support groups, community events. So it involves a whole list of things. And just hearing you say you didn't know how I was going to get through it and
Yeah.
not internalize it. There are times that I have, to be honest with you, there are times that I have. And when it gets to that point for me, especially with the criminal aspects of it, the trial and, having to go to court or even mediation, I have to take myself out of the equation.
Mm.
I have to because I start to feel. So I have to just take myself out of the equation. Now, once we leave that courtroom and I get her situated, baby, I may boohoo cry in my car.
Oh, you don't tell me that.
Yeah, I may boohoo cry in that car, baby. I
Now,
tell you,
now I know.
I
You
ain't
didn't,
gonna lie
you
to
didn't
you.
tell me that.
I may boohoo cry in that car.
I can't even imagine some of the
Yeah,
stories, because even when we went through Shy's situation, it was like just listening to some of the details was unheard of. I was like,
yeah,
this person has to be unhinged to, kind of
yeah.
live their life this way. So
And even sometimes when you're sitting in counseling with them, it becomes very heartfelt. Like it really does, because you're meeting with them to discuss their needs, provide guidance, and trying to encourage them to move forward after the abuse. But even that takes a lot. It takes a whole lot of strength. That does a lot.
yeah. What are some of the hardest truths you've witnessed in this line of work?
Ooh. My emotions.
Yeah.
My emotions getting pulled in a million and one directions. My emotions being over here, my emotions being over there, my heart breaking, um, and me again having to maintain, so they don't see me break.
Right.
Because my sole purpose is to help them to navigate through what they're going through, and I don't want them to see that other side of me.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just my emotions being poured in every different direction.
Then you getting pulled in every different direction, and then you still gotta come home.
Mm-hmm,
Still gotta
mm-hmm,
come home
mm-hmm,
and deal with
mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, that
Exactly.
is that's pretty hard. Um,
And the days can be long. Some of the circumstances are very, very difficult. So it's just my emotions being all over the place.
yeah, and I can honestly say, like, even when it comes to your daily life, your personal life, I've seen you rearrange everything so you could just be there for the victims. Like, you'll say, like, I'm coming to such and such event, but first I gotta stop here. Like, people don't even understand it. You stop and
Mm-hmm.
do and drop and do different things for a lot of these people that are in the safe houses before you go, before they see bartender Denise, before they see club Denise. They don't
Right.
understand. They don't even stand. And so that could be a little taxing, because there's not enough hours in a day. Um,
Never,
and
never enough
your
hours a
emotions all
day.
over the place. So yeah, that can be a little hard, but we do appreciate you. I do, at least. Um, on the days that you feel like it's too much, what keeps you going?
SHI. Shy is what keeps me going. Because when I say we, I mean you and Sean and some of the other Jacksons and my biological family, even though I consider my extended and biological as one. Um, y'all keep me going. Shy keep me going because when we established her foundation, our main goal was to duet, share hope, and inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to get out there and do what I have to do. So even in days when I'm tired, I'm just completely overwhelmed. And there are times when I be like, oh my God, not today. I'm tired, but I have to push that aside. I have to push me aside and I have to keep moving. So Shy is really my inspiration to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I could believe that. A couple
Hmm.
episodes ago when we did the podcast where we talked with Kim and Mika, and it got a little bit heavy, and then so we were mentally and emotionally exhausted.
Yeah,
And one thing I did love was the fact that you were able to lean on your family and have that conversation with them. And I think it did so much for you
it
because,
did.
yeah, because questions were answered that, they wanted to ask, but I felt like just having that closeness with your family gave you that support you needed, and it reaffirmed like what you're doing is helping
Yeah,
and motivating others. So definitely, I think that when it gets too much, you do lean on close friends and families, and just thank God that you have a great village that stands behind you.
and
Um,
I think there are some that are still afraid to ask about Shy, that who truly don't know what happened, is only hearsay but never heard it from me. So again, I said I think there are some that still are afraid to ask. There are some that are still afraid to speak her name. But I said, speak her name. Speak her name daily. I speak her name every single day, even on days when I'm not doing the work.
mhm.
Days when I say, you know what? You got to take a break. You got to rest today. You got to put that on somebody else today. I call her name every single day. Every single day. Just today, um, prior to picking Raph up from football practice, guess where I went? To visit her, to pray over her, to put more flowers out. So speak her name. I have no problem talking about her. Just speak it.
I was on TikTok talking about Shy and the foundation. With complete strangers. They brought up the topic. We was on live. They brought up the topic, and I was like, "Well, hey, guess what? I also do, and guess what? I'm a part of." And I started sharing her story. And what was crazy was I made so many connections behind that. I found out a lot about different people and the situations they went to. They felt more comfortable opening up about it. One of the people in the room also. Um, had one of the episodes on the Fatal Attraction episodes as well, one of her family members. And so just like you said, speak her name, sharing her story, it helps. Like I don't live nowhere near these people, but they were so inspired and they wanted to look her story up, come look at the foundation's page, and check out the podcast. So it's just amazing. Like just do a little bit and it could go so far, just a little glimmer of light.
Yes.
But yeah, yeah. But just leaning on each other in that time and sharing how we feel with other people, that can help a whole lot, because sometimes your cup is full and you need to, let it out sometimes.
Let it out sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes it's written on your face, and I'm like, Denise, what's going on? And you like, oh, Jim. And then I know when you hit the oh, Jim,
You already know.
it's something going on. Okay, so let's talk about the safe houses now. What role do you play in a survivor's journey to safety and healing? When you go to the safe houses, like, so like what role do you play in that?
I I play a crucial part in that. I'm sorry. I'm just wrapping stuff. Um my main thing is providing safety, to make sure that they're safe. I just want to make sure they're in a safe environment. Um I'm there for emotional support. Um I'm making sure everything pertaining to them is confidential.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing. Everything is confidential. So I tailor towards support. I tailor towards counseling, health services for some that, don't have health insurance and need to do this and need to do that. and have been restricted from those things because of their abuser.
Hmm.
I sit and I have one-on-one conversations with them outside of counseling to show them that they're not alone. They're not on this journey by themselves. And together we can make it better. We can do this.
Right. So for those who don't know, a safe house is just that. It's a safe house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where they at. Okay. And as many times as this topic comes up, I emphasize to let people know because even when they contribute to the foundation, can you take a picture? Everybody, we
No.
gotta stop this. We can't always take pictures of everything. Everything is not to be on display. Okay. No,
Mm-mm.
we can't take pictures. There's safe houses for a reason. Even
Mm-hmm.
when I used to work at a child care center that catered to transient families and families of children that come from these safe houses, pictures were not allowed. Not pictures
No.
outside, not pictures inside, not pictures. Period.
No pictures, period.
You guys might think is very minuscule, but if somebody's hiding from somebody, a predator will see that picture. They will search the background for any clues to go after
Exactly.
those people. So a
Exactly.
safe house is just what it is. It's a safe house.
It's a safe house.
You don't know.
It's a supportive environment.
Yeah,
You know, that accelerates towards that person recovery and their independency. And so it's keeping them safe is the main thing.
yeah. So no, we can't
Keeping
take
them safe.
pictures of us distributing the stuff, but just know it's getting distributed. You know what I'm saying? No, we can't take pictures of us giving them gift cards and stuff like that. But just know, just rest assured, it's happening. We're not keeping nothing. We're actually giving the proceeds to where it needs to go. I'm
Yeah,
just
everything goes where it needs to go.
trust.
Everything. And
Because
they are so appreciative.
yeah, but we've gotten that several times. Can you take a picture? No, we can't. You ain't putting
No,
that
can't
on
do
Facebook.
that.
You're
I
not.
mean, you gotta think even when we do the work outside of the safe houses and we're going to these different communities, especially two apartment complexes that we adopted, we take pictures of the overall event, but we never sit there and take pictures of us actually standing there with somebody because we done gave them something.
Right.
Like never.
Like we're not here to embarrass and shame to look down upon. We don't want them to feel like that. We're here to help, empower, and sometimes
Mhm.
we take just the publicity thing a little too far. Like
Too
yes,
far.
yes, we love to show like the stuff we do, but just know that we are offering respect and we want to give them a little humility. And so no, we will not be taking pictures of each and everything. Okay, just that's just for me. Um, so okay, so walk us through it. So if I was walking to just like if I was to enter into a safe house, like what does that look like when a survivor first get there? Because think about it, if we're have some listeners out here who are thinking about taking that step to get some help, and but they're unsure of like what their surroundings or what that looks like. So if I'm a victim and I'm going into a safe house, like what does that look like when I first enter it?
When you prior to you entering the safe house, we have to be certain that this is where you want to go. This is where you want to be because once you are there until you transition out. So there is no coming in today and oh tomorrow I want to leave because with you doing that, it makes it unsafe for the other people that are there.
Absolutely.
So it's something that you have to be sure of because once you're in, you're in. You're in through all court proceedings, you're in through counseling, you're in until your matter is resolved. And once your matter is resolved, and then you transition out. But even with you transitioning out, because the way the safe houses are set up, the address is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that the address is unknown. There is no numbers on the mailbox. There's no numbers on the houses. Um, the address is unknown. So you're in a safe house, but in actuality, you don't know where you are. Don't come thinking you're gonna bring a cell phone in because you're not. You're not. Don't think you're going to use the phone that's there, because you're not, because it's locked in the office. So when you're there, you're there. And some people may look at it and be like, oh, prisoners get more freedom than that. But if you want us to provide a safety net for you, you got to be willing to be under lock and key. And that's just for your own safety. So, number one, you got to be certain that this is what you want. Because once you're in, again, you're in until you get ready to transition out. And that is usually after your case have been resolved. Um, we asked that each of them establish a code word, because once you transition out, we want to make sure that you're safe still. So you got to think about establishing a code word. Being in a safe house means we're gathering all of your documents, everything that you need. We're making sure we do the work. We're making sure we get all of those documents that's needed for you to get the services that you need. We're contacting different agencies. Um, we got major security features there. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So again, you got to be willing to be there, because our main goal is to help you to help yourself.
Right. Because
So you got to be willing to accept these changes. And we don't want to make you feel as though I've left an abusive relationship, but even being here, I have no control. It's not about us trying to take the little bit of control that you feel like you still have over your life. It's about us rebuilding, or helping you to rebuild your life.
mhm.
So it's a stickler, but it's beneficial to you at the end.
Yeah, and they have to understand, like, you have to be all in. And sometimes when you're leaving these domestic relationships, sometimes I kind of think of it in terms of like addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you're in, like, just like with addiction, you relapse, and
Yeah.
sometimes you want to go back to that situation. You know what I mean? Because you're not used to this situation where it's so controlled right now, but it's controlled for a reason. Because if you bring a cell phone into the safe house, not only do you compromise your safety, but you compromise everybody's safety around you.
Everybody's safety around you.
And so yeah, you have to really decide this, if this is what you want.
If it's what you want.
Just like, when we see on TV where the police put their witnesses in a safe house, it's the same kind of concept.
It's the
Um,
same concept.
yeah, they're just trying to save your life, and so sometimes you have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a little while in order to save your life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot can go on in that time period, and plus during that time you need to be focusing on counseling, rebuilding, decide what you want out of life, what your life is going to look like now that you have left, because it's totally different. And some people can't handle the newfound freedom, like, because if you're in a very controlling environment with your abuser, and then you are just released out, that's gonna, some people feel real uneasy, and they rather go back to what they're used to. But they're trying to change your mindset so that you can live a more healthier, productive life. So you have to break away from a lot of those things.
Exactly.
So yeah, so it can be a little uncomfortable, but it doesn't last long. They're just trying to keep you safe so you can
We're
get the.
trying to keep it safe.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
What are some common misconceptions people have about domestic violence shelters or people who need them?
Pretty much what we just said.
Yeah,
One
what we said.
one of the main misconception is that they're under lock and key, and that they have no freedom. And that they've left one abusive relationship where they had no control, but yet they're still placed in a controlling environment.
But there's so much programming that goes on.
Yeah,
So you have your counseling. You guys do different events. I hear you talk all the time. Like, hey, I got to get over to the house. I'm having breakfast with the women. And
hmm
I think I love when you say that, because I'm like, oh, she's spending time with them, so they, they
Yeah.
get to know you. You building a bond with them. So it's not just like you in a sterile room by yourself. That's not what goes on.
No, it's not that they're in a still room by themselves. They get to know each other one on one. They
Hmm.
get to know each advocate that comes through their one on one. And every month we, like you said, we do breakfast. One or two of us will provide breakfast, or we'll take them lunch. Do something different so they don't. Okay, tomorrow y'all ain't got to worry about cooking breakfast. We got breakfast for the house. Or y'all ain't got to worry about doing lunch. We got lunch for the house. And then it's like if one, two, whoever reach a milestone, we celebrate them.
Hmm.
We celebrate them. So the misconception is they do absolutely nothing. But no, that's not so. That's not so.
Yeah. The next question is, how do you help survivors feel empowered and not ashamed when they walk through those doors? But just like you said, you celebrate them every time they hit a milestone. You celebrate that.
We
Um,
celebrate that, and we encourage them daily to look to a better way of living. Look in the mirror and remember who you were before the abuse started.
oh yeah, because you most definitely lose yourself in an
Yeah,
abusive
look,
relationship, and they have
yeah,
to get back to that.
they
Absolutely.
have to get back to that. They do, and they're so grateful once they get in and they get into the hang of thing. They're so very grateful. Like they are so very grateful, and there have been a couple of them, even when we've had to leave, and you go to court or whatever. They're afraid
Yeah.
to leave, even though we know they're being safeguarded. They're still afraid. So there are some that feel like their safety lies where they are.
Hmm.
So you have to work with them and build up their strength and their sense of confidence, and let them know that you got this. You
Well, I
know.
mean, when you don't, when it's beat out you and you don't have nothing in there, you how you gonna feel?
Mm-hmm.
When you've been told, pretty much the whole duration of the relationship, don't nobody else love you and they ain't gonna do nothing for you. So you start to internalize those things. And so, at least when they're in these safe houses and they get the counseling and they get to meet with different advocates and different survivors, they could build themselves back up, build their self esteem
Mm-hmm.
back up. Even after leaving their abuser, what ongoing safety concerns do some survivors still face? Because I heard you say they have to provide a safety where so when you guys check in on them, know they're still okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are some other safety concerns some of them may have?
Some of them concerns are the risk of being stalked. Like that
Mm-hmm.
person gonna be out there stalking them. But um, here's the thing: when they're in the safe house, they're in the safe house because 9 times out of 10, their abuser had yet to be caught, or their abuser is already in the system, in jail, and we're going back and forth to court. If they're not caught, when they get there, we go through the motions with them as well, but their mindset is still somebody might be stalking me, because even though they go through counseling, it's like they be having PTSD, like they're
Yeah,
just traumatized.
yeah.
And even though you try to empower them and they have counseling, but we do reference them to therapy after the fact.
Hmm.
Once they leave, you still need to go through therapy. You still got to go through these things because, like I said, they're afraid that they're being watched. So they want to change their routine as to how they do things, where they go. They don't want to share their location because they never know whether this person, family member, will see them and tell this person, "Oh, I saw you over here, and
Hmm.
this is where they are." And then they fear the signs of being abused again if
Yeah.
they get into another relationship.
Hmm.
So their concerns are really all over the place, but their safety is their main concern. Like, am I gonna be okay?
Yeah, I've met women, some years ago that, like I said, I worked at a child care center that dealt with transient children as well as children from the safe house, and their abuser, they moved states away,
Mm-hmm.
and they were still so traumatized that
Yeah.
they will find them. So, and I'm not gonna even try to play down their like their feelings are invalid, because you never know the extremes that a abuser will take to
And
find.
you don't.
They
You
don't care.
don't.
They don't care like how they. Some of them, when they say they're gonna get you one way, or they truly mean it. So
This like when we talked earlier about the young lady that was in the hospital. This young lady actually moved from Jersey to Atlanta to get away from her abuser. While being here, she started working at a warehouse. Working at the warehouse, she ended up running into the cousin of her abuser. The abuser ended up here in Atlanta. End up here.
so when
And
they yeah
they somehow connected. She gave in. I give you a ride home. And in the process of her giving him a ride home, he attacked her, pushed out her car, ran over. Luckily, she survived, even though she was in a bad way. And others stood around, saw who him. They was able to, ID him. And now he's doing 20 to life.
as she should.
Yeah. So their safety is our main concern, and their concern because they never know.
You never know.
They
You
never
really
know.
um. Oh, I'm
They
sorry.
never know.
Yeah, I don't never take it for granted when they
Mhm.
have concerns like that, because of stories just like that. So that's why we really do not play when it comes to safety, especially when
Mhm.
we're servicing the safe houses. So in your work,
And even as an advocate, you yourself have to be cautious as well.
oh yeah,
You have to be cautious
they gonna
because
they gonna get you because you helping them.
exactly, you have to be cautious because when you're going in these courtrooms and you sitting there with these people and the abuser people in there and they giving you the side eye and they mucking you. So you yourself have to be cautious as well.
Yeah,
Like you really do.
I
So I'm always on alert.
yeah,
Mhm.
even when we were going, through Shy's proceedings, and I thought it was so wild. Like I didn't believe it.
Oh my
I tried to
God.
I tried to make every trial case that I could. Like I was taking off work. I didn't care. I was like, I'll be back.
Yep, you were there.
But it was so wild to me that we had to be escorted in and out the courtroom, and you were the victim. You know what I mean? Shy
Hmm.
was the victim, and but their family was so nasty
Oh,
towards us.
nasty.
Like they had no compassion for what it was.
No,
It was
no
crazy.
compassion, no
Nothing,
remorse, no
none.
nothing.
Trying to
They
fight us. I'm
wanted
like, we didn't do it.
like they want to yell and scream in the courtroom, doing all this extra. And then I'm looking at Mister sitting next to me, and I'm like, "Nah, don't you move, cause we don't need no mistrial.
And I'm like,
Just hold tight."
and it was just so crazy to me. So not even just the abuser, but their family, like you said, the
Their
cousin,
family,
like their
their
family,
family.
they condone the mess, and
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just not a it. You have to be very careful, and you have to,
Very. And
yeah,
did you remember when we went to the very first bond hearing? How they cut up?
they could. I was
They cut up at the very first bond hearing, and you had D out there by the fight, Dirty Red
I
out
was
there
like,
about the fight.
this is
Like it was crazy. But I'm like, y'all did this to us.
like,
Y'all did this.
and so you have to be careful. Head definitely has everybody's protection involved because you don't know what people are capable of doing, and all you want to do is help, and they get mad because you are standing in the way of them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is so yeah, you gotta be very careful. So
Very,
yeah. So
very.
okay, so you service DeKalb, Clayton, Metro Atlanta. Like what areas do the safe houses that you work at? Now, mind you, safe houses are all around,
Clayton,
mostly Clayton. Okay.
Clayton. Mm-hmm.
Um, in your work, what are the biggest challenges survivors face when trying to get help? Um, like so, okay, they pick up the phone. What happens? Like, are there any chances like they got to get to a certain space? Do they have to fill out like a lot of paperwork? Like, what are the biggest challenges trying to just receive?
The challenge, I think people, the challenge is really not them getting the help. The challenge is them wanting the help.
Right.
Because you can pick up the phone and you can call and say XYZ. But again, you got to be for real. Like, this is what you want. This is what I want. This is what I need. And I'm all in. Because you can call me today and I'm writing down all your information and I'm saying to you, okay, do we need to come get you now? Or you coming to us? And then they may say, let me think about it. I'm not sure. So the help is available, but it's the fact that they have to want it. They have to be ready to take that step.
I think they want it. I think they're just scared. So
Yeah,
it,
they're scared.
yeah,
They're
they're scared.
scared. They're scared. But
They,
you have to, and I say to many that you have to learn how to break that cycle of fear if it's only for 1 minute.
because they feel like, well, what if their abuser finds out?
If it's only for 1 minute. And that's why when you're in an abusive relationship, and we say, like I said earlier, it's about code words. So if you tell a trusted friend, a trusted family member what you're going through, but at this given time, you can't leave because of XYZ. But when I get ready to leave, and if I call you and I say pineapple, I'm ready to flee.
Hmm.
So I always suggest code words.
Um, how do factors like race, gender identity, immigration status, and age influence your resources? Like, it don't. Or
The uh I think it, the gender,
gen-
the
gender
gender,
gender might be the biggest one. Yeah.
gender might be the biggest one because again, domestic violence has no gender.
Hmm.
It does not discriminate, and often it's so hard for men to get the necessary resources that they need because nobody wants to believe that men are being abused.
Right. And a lot of the safe houses
And
are
a lot
primarily
of
women. And
primarily women. Yep.
so if a man calls and says, "Hey, look, I need a safe spot to be," and you bring
Hmm.
them into the safe house, some women may be triggered because now a male is
Exactly. So you can't mix them at all. So again, it's gender. That's the hardest part about it.
they miss the
It's
resource.
gender.
And when we talked to
Yeah.
our guest last week, he also said it was limited resources. They do have resources out there for
They have resources, but they're
men.
limited.
Men, yeah, they're limited,
They're
but
limited.
there are resources out there
And,
for.
and I think they're limited because oftentimes men are too afraid to come forward because they are men. They don't want to say that their girlfriend or their wife or their partner is beating up on them because I'm a man
Yeah,
and I should not be taking this kind of abuse. So it's really difficult for them to reach out. So the resources are limited because you don't know what the stats are. Like you really don't.
you're right. That's really unfortunate. What systems are failing survivors, and what changes do you believe are most urgent?
Uh at one time I could say that the criminal process, the courts were failing survivors.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah, I've got to say at one point they were because I call, I'm being abused, but 9 times out of 10 when the officer come, he gonna lock us both up
Yeah.
for domestic violence, especially if a kid is in the house.
Yep.
We both gonna be locked up for domestic violence and child cruelty.
Yep. And you got defects case.
And you got defects case now on your back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the system at one point was failing the survivors, but it has gotten better because, and I think it has gotten better because the numbers are getting higher and higher and higher. So it has gotten better because the cases that I've dealt with thus far have been challenging, but the survivors have won at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's long and drawn out sometimes.
Yeah, very
A little touch and go. But
good.
yeah, I felt like the criminal side was
Yeah,
failing the survivors, and a part of me want to say that they weren't taking it as seriously because
it wasn't.
of the back and forth, like, they will come out or somebody will call, and then you're trying to protect oh no, I don't want them to be arrested, because if they
Mhm.
get arrested and and they get out, you're gonna get even worse.
Yeah,
And so they feel like, if I keep on having to come out here, somebody's going to jail, or both of y'all going to
yeah.
jail.
And I can say too, as far as survivors going to court, that has gotten better with the time frame
Hmm.
because if you think about it, we lost Shy in 2013, and even though we went to bond hearing after bond hearing, no, he was going to be denied, but anyway, bond hearing after bond hearing, we didn't go to trial till 2015.
Hmm.
So it was a lengthy process for us, and that angered me. That tore me down. But then I realized the judge that we were going in front of, she was on the board for domestic violence survivors. She was on that board, and she too was in the process of having a baby. So they wanted that particular judge to oversee our case. And if you think about it, we switched prosecutor. Remember, we started off with the little lady,
Hmm.
and I was very antsy about her because I'm like, I don't think she know what she's doing.
Well, it was a whole lot of not knowing what they was doing in that courtroom.
Like, I don't think she know what she's doing. And then I was like, mm-mm, uh-uh. And we requested another one, and he knocked the ball out the park.
Yeah, it was a lot of craziness going on
Yeah,
on both sides.
on both sides.
On both sides.
On both sides.
So, what changes do you believe need to be most urgent? I think, like, just being able to provide them with some concrete support right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
um, even law enforcement needs to do some more training in that area, how to
And
identify,
they do. They
yeah,
really do. They really do.
and to how to show compassion for the victims and not be so stern. They're already shooken up, and um, they need to learn how to de-escalate
And
better.
they do have domestic violence task force. They do have them, but
What is?
oftentimes when a victim call, nobody from that task force is sent out, and they have them.
So who's supposed to responsible for dispatching it?
Huh.
So it needs to be a
Come
whole,
on now.
because
So
I ain't never heard of them.
it's they like all over the place, and that's something that needs more structure.
Right.
It need to be better structure because they exist. But what I can honestly say, the DV force in Clayton County, baby, they be on it. They
Well,
be on it.
I ain't never see it. So for the listeners out there, if you witness a domestic, I know a lot of times we witness stuff and we might want to call in passing. So just ask for if they have a domestic violence task force that they could dispatch as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want first responders to get there regardless, but if you can have somebody who's more trained, request it, and maybe maybe 911 to put it in play and put it in the
Right.
system, and because if we don't use the resources, they take them away.
They
So
take them away.
we're
They
not
take them away.
utilizing these different task force and groups that they have in law enforcement. That they quick to cut something. So request them if you see a situation going um on the flip side, can you share a moment when you saw a survivor reclaim their power?
Oh yes. Oh yes, yes, yes. Um, I've had several. We had one last month, and she's soaring. Like she is doing amazing. She transitioned out. She moved back to her hometown, but she transitioned out. She has a nice place. She got a steady job. She got her kids back because her kids were in her mother's custody because of everything she had been going through.
Hmm.
So she's doing amazing.
That's
She's
good.
doing amazing. I check in on her. She hit me or Miss Tina up periodically to say, listen, I'm doing well. I appreciate the support. I couldn't have did it without, you guys and the counselors and, the ladies that were in this place with me because still when they come together and they band as one,
Hmm.
and one of the things that they say all the time, we are stronger together.
Absolutely.
Your problem is my problem is your problem. And together we're going to find a solution. This is the thing they say all the time. So she's doing amazing. She's doing amazing.
I'm happy to hear that.
She
That's
really is. She's doing amazing. She really is. And her perpetrator won't see the light of day
good.
either. He won't. He won't see the light of day.
When you were talking about her, I just all I saw was a little butterfly flying in the field. Like
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
was in a little jar. It got out.
Yeah. He won't see the light of day. And
Good.
I didn't oversee her case. I didn't sit in. I went sometime to listen to hear what was going on, but her case wasn't assigned to me. It was assigned to one of the other advocates. But of course I went, I sat in, but I sat through counseling with her. I did mediation with her. I had one-on-one conversations with her. And yeah, she's doing well. She's doing really good.
That's good.
She really
Um,
is.
we're gonna switch to supporting families and communities. For the families grieving the loss of someone due to domestic violence, how do you show up for them in your role?
Hmm. I always speak of my journey.
Right.
I let them know what I've endured and what I still deal with 12 years later.
Hmm.
And if you're willing to allow me to come into your world, then together we can do this. If you allow me in, if you trust me enough to help you throughout this ordeal, I'm here. No matter the time, no matter what day, I am here. If I miss your call, guarantee you're going to get a call right back.
Because a lot of times they're like, "Well, you don't know how I feel. You never lost anybody," and I
Hmm.
can't. Just I don't know what it feels like to lose a child, but the the thing about you when they're in that moment and they feel like nobody understands how they feel, you can say, "I absolutely understand how you feel,"
I
and,
absolutely.
and
And
you can be realistic.
a lot of the times, I've had to not just speak with the survivor, but speak with their parents as well.
Hmm.
So and building a relationship with them is building a relationship with their parents as well. Whether it's if they're coming from a two parent household or one parent household, I tell them, like, listen, I know what you're going through. I've been there. But where I'm at in this, I don't want to see you there. I don't
Hmm.
want to see you there as parents, and I don't want to see you there as the survivor.
Right. And you ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You gonna let them know, like, this is gonna hurt. You gonna go
Yeah,
through it.
you're
Like,
gonna go through it. Like it's not easy.
it's
It's
not
not
easy.
easy because I tell them 12 years later, I still hurt. There are days I still struggle to breathe.
Hmm.
You know, and that's on God. There are days when I can just look at Raphael and all I see is shot.
The other day when you put a camera on, I said, "Oh my god."
All I see, right, Jim, all I see is her. And those are like bittersweet moments for me. You
Yeah.
know, I'm happy that she left us with such a miracle, but at the same time, I'm sad because he missed out on a life with his mom
Right.
and she did him. And I don't want to see anybody else endure what I've endured. So, by every means, if I can help, allow me in to help.
Right. Yeah. Looking at Ralph sometimes it is
Scary.
yeah.
It's scary.
Is like you said, it's very bittersweet.
Hmm.
Because he looks just like his mom.
That's like her. And to see him do
Same mannerisms sometimes and everything. I just thank
yes,
God though that you at least have a little piece of her, you know.
yes,
Um, but yeah, that could be hard. It could,
yeah,
especially when you having a moment, you look at him like, yeah, it could be
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
What advice do you give parents who are afraid that their child might be in danger and don't know how to help?
Um, First thing I would say that to sit down and have that uncomfortable conversation with your child. Have that conversation with your child. Don't talk at them. Talk to them. Talk with them. Don't
Listen,
just listen.
listen.
Hear what they're saying.
Hmm.
So that's the main thing. Have that conversation. And in the midst of having that conversation, ask them, how can I help you? What can I do? And
Don't
just be that strength, be that power, be that encouraging force, be that person that's going to walk that walk with them and not place judgment on them.
right. I would say don't impose judgment on them.
No, don't place judgment on them
Mhm.
because if you start judging, that's going to push them away
Yep.
and that's going to endanger them even more. You know,
And we know you mean well, parents, but
yeah.
this is sometimes you have to change up your tactics because you're literally they're fighting for their lives,
Hmm.
and
So
so
it
yeah,
starts with that uncomfortable conversation. Yeah, and they may deny it, but keep talking.
yeah, keep
Keep
talking.
talking.
Um, what can everyday people in the community do to support safe houses and prevent domestic violence? Support
So
organizations like the Shy Foundation.
support organizations, again, like Jim said, like the Shy Foundation, because every dime that's given to the foundation goes back into the community, whether it's to the safe houses, whether it's to underprivileged family, the money goes back out into the community. Um, Even if it means showing up to volunteer at different locations we at, show up and volunteer.
And
You know,
thank you to the volunteers that came out for
hello.
the give backs. You guys, we got different people coming out and they really enjoyed
Yeah,
themselves.
they really enjoy themselves. So show up as far as trying to prevent it. That's a fight. That's the fight we're fighting. That's the fight we're fighting, to be honest, because we can speak on it, we can show up for it, we can be there for our victors. We can do all of those things. But as you and I are sitting here talking right now, somebody somewhere is being abused.
Right. You know what they could do to prevent it? Take some personal responsibility and keep your hands to yourself. You yourself.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
be a role
But it's
model to others. And
not
if you
gonna
don't,
happen. But it's
yeah,
not gonna happen.
but they need to.
They need to, but it's not gonna happen.
And then you know your friends, you have friends that's sitting around here.
Some of them
Like,
just
stop glorifying what they're doing.
some of
It's
them are just ignorant.
yeah,
It's not gonna happen. They're
especially
just
like a lot of
ignorant.
the younger generation, they glorify
Hmm.
these toxic relationships.
They do.
No, we're
They
not
really
doing
do.
we're not doing that.
Really
We're gonna
do.
promote healthy,
We got to
positive
promote
relationships.
healthy, positive relationship,
We're not doing a
not
toxic relationship.
toxicity.
Yeah,
No
the
toxic
way
relationship.
to domestic violence, if
No.
not already, bouts of DV. We're not doing that. So
Mm-mm.
everyday
We're
people,
not.
we could lead by example, and we could not tolerate having people who engage in those behaviors in our circles. That's what you could do. Um, the work is heavy. How do you take care of your own emotional and mental well being?
Ooh,
And I wanted, yeah, I want to know
good
because you
job.
just told me you be crying in the car and you ain't told nobody that.
I mean, there are times, that I do. It becomes so heavy.
It
Um,
does.
it becomes so very heavy, and there have been a couple of cases that I dealt with, and they reminded me so much of Shy because of their ages.
Mm,
Um, and again, I say just to see the parents trying to be that pillar of strength for their child that's been abused. I'm looking at them and I'm looking at me. So, and it just become so overwhelming. Like I said, my emotions be in a million different places. So sometimes when it's so heavy and I can't show them how I'm feeling, I do get in my car and I cry. I do. I get in my car and I have a good cry, you
grieving cry.
know. But
Ain't nothing wrong with a good cry.
how I take care of me, I sometimes have to say, you know what? I'm gonna give this assignment to this person or that person because today I'm gonna take a day for me. I just need a woosah moment. I need a moment to meditate. I need a moment to just go down on my knees in prayer. I need a moment of silence.
Mm, silence.
I need a moment of silence, which means I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I just wanted to be me and my God.
Listen, for everybody out there, when she said moment of silence, even she cut me off too. It's
Silence.
silence. Not
It's
right now.
silence.
Everybody gets it, and there's nothing wrong with
Hmm.
just cutting out the
Yeah.
noise.
Because even in the midst of everything that I do on the outside, I still have a home that I
Yes.
have to maintain.
Hmm. You
You
definitely
know,
have a little person depending upon
and
you.
I still got this right. I have the little people depending on me.
Hmm.
So I still have to navigate here. So I have to make sure I'm sane. I have to make sure I'm in my right mind because this kind of stuff can drive you crazy,
It can.
But I feel like I was anointed to do this work. Like I was ordained to do it. Do I wish the circumstances were different? I do. But I know I can't change that part. But I know with me doing what I do daily, I can help change the life of somebody.
What's something you learned about yourself since becoming an advocate?
Oh, Lord Jesus. I, I've learned that my tolerance level
I,
is at ground zero. And I've learned that my tolerance level is on ground zero. It is at
I
ground
don't think
zero.
so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. Because of everything that I do outside of my household and then dealing with my household, my tolerance level for extra stuff is at
Oh,
ground zero. Like I just don't have a tolerance for it. I don't have I don't have the capacity to just deal with whatever. I don't.
Okay, in terms of the extraness, I get it, but I don't think your tolerance level is high in certain areas. Um,
Clean it up.
no, no, I get it, I get it, I get it.
Clean
Because
it up.
we've had several conversations, and I've told you several times, like I just need quiet, I need peace, I need still, I cannot deal, so I'm removing myself. I get that. But I think your tolerance in terms of dealing with the matters of the heart when it comes to this work,
I
it,
got it.
you got it. But
Got it.
that extraness of stuff, that just the noise,
I don't have it.
you don't have it. You don't have it.
I don't have it. And I've realized too that my normal is not the same as everybody else's normal. My normal is totally different. Like my normal is totally different because every day I wake up without Shy. Every single day I wake up without her. Every single day I am questioning why. But then God come back and said, why not? Because you have a purpose and you're fulfilling that. So I've learned that my normal is not what it was. My normal is something totally different now. Like it really
I
is.
don't think in a million years we would have thought that um, life would be throwing hurdles as they
Mm.
have. Um, and definitely even in these last couple years, your normal has changed. Even when after you retired and then you decided to start really getting into doing the work, and yeah, a lot has changed. And every time you perform that song, what, why not me, it's the name of that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just be like thinking like, even that song sends me through it. I got some clips of you doing that song, and I'm like, I don't know anybody else that would be able to do this walk
Mm-hmm.
so gracefully. Um, like if nobody knew your story, they wouldn't understand it. Like, as just looking at you, sometimes they wouldn't know that you've been through literally hell. Uh,
Right. They don't know. And I said because, majority of they see, as I stated, they see Denise the football mom. You
mhm,
know, they see that Denise. They see the bar manager, the bartender. They see that. They see Sean's wife.
right.
You know, they see Ralph and the money Nana. Like these are the things that they see. And even like they see so much of me. I think so many of them see me more so as a bartender, more so than anything. So when they see me outside of the bar, they're like, wow, I didn't know you do this type of work. I
Yeah,
didn't know you move like this. There
yeah,
are a lot of things about me you don't know. I wear a whole lot of different hats.
a whole lot.
A
Well,
whole
I
lot of
can't
different
even
hats.
say it because half of them didn't even know I could read, so it's okay. It's all right. Then it's all right. So we stopped caring about how people views us a long time
A
ago.
long time ago. Long time ago. Because
Uh,
they definitely didn't know you do what you do.
nah, they didn't.
They really don't.
I think something. Yeah, I didn't. I think that I learned that you were so resilient after becoming an advocate. Like, even just like dealing with the people, the long hours, the calls where you have to go put them in a hotel room or buy tickets to so they bus tickets, play, all that kind of stuff. And you were still able to do those things and not let it affect your
And
daily.
you know what? It's funny you speak up on a bus ticket. I just bought a bus ticket, I want to say Sunday night. I want to say Sunday night. I
Like,
talked,
people
I
be
talked,
trying to go.
I talked with the individual on Saturday, and I want to say it was Sunday night, going into Monday morning. I bought a bus ticket.
See, while y'all out there buying bottles and such,
Hmm.
she out here doing the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like ain't no I know Atlanta's known for scammers, but ain't no scamming going on here. We saving
Ain't no
lives over here.
scamming, baby.
We saving
And,
lives
and
over here.
here's the thing: that bus ticket was not bought with money from the Shop Foundation.
Oh yeah. I already know how that go.
It came out of my.
Pocket. It be listen.
Mhm.
I've called Denise several times. We do it on the way to the grocery store, buying groceries. Because the Shy Foundation does not only service victors of domestic violence, but we've been serving the whole community as a whole, especially since COVID. So like giving out toiletries, feeding the whole community. Like these are things that just happen. Um, and there was such a great need at one point in time where we were just solely, focusing on the whole community. I was like, Denise, we're getting away from the whole point of
The
the
whole point of the foundation,
there
yeah.
was so much work that needed to be done. And guess what? It was during a time period where we weren't being social. So there wasn't like we could go out and do all these fundraisers. So everything was coming out of pocket,
Out of pocket.
out of pocket. And it was coming primarily out of her pocket.
Yep, out of pocket.
So, that's why I commend and look up to you so much. Because, baby, I ain't got it all the time. Like, if I could rub two nickels together, whatever I can do, I will do.
Now, let
But
me say this. Let me say this about you. When I tell you I am so appreciative of you and I love you with my whole heart.
oh,
And one of the things that really keeps me going is when I heard you say, I am so proud of you for doing all the work that you've been doing this year and mainly by yourself when it came
yeah,
to the foundation.
yeah.
You
I
know, because last year my world was so chaotic. And that's on God, it was so chaotic.
hmm
And there was so much noise that I somehow lost focus of the purpose itself. And I found myself doing more, but feeling as if I wasn't doing enough. And I had to step back. I had to go in silence and I had to pray and I had to just move at the will of God. So to hear you say that to me, it meant so much to me. And it's like that is my part of my motivation to just keep going and going and going,
listen.
going and going and going. And you don't know how many times I think of stuff and I be like, oh, I need to call Gemini. But Sean said Gemini sleep.
Well, I be asleep. Yeah,
Gemini sleep. I said, that's all right. I send a text. Jim will
you,
get it in the morning.
yeah, you do.
I said, Jim, get in the morning. I said, if Jim wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, see the text, he gonna text me back.
I do.
You
But
know. So in all honesty, I appreciate you with my whole heart. And I love you so much
I love
for
you more.
just
Don't make me listen.
continuing to walk this walk with me because I know it ain't easy sometimes.
It
And
ain't.
I know you have to get on me up doing my homework.
It ain't. But
But
yeah,
I appreciate it so much.
I you know what? I'm so inspired by a lot of stuff that you do, and I'm like, how does this lady do it? First of all, transparent moment. Just being out in the community, and I started seeing like a lot of people. And so when you pull back the veil and you find out they're not what you thought they were, what I mean? That was kind of heart wrenching. But then when I got closer to you and I realized that you were so much more, I was like, okay, this is respectable. Because normally when you look up to people, you got to give me something to look up to. And like just career wise, when you were going through school and double majors, I was like, this lady does it all. Like I was loving it. And then, even more recently when you picked up the reins and you said, regardless of what's going on, I'm not gonna let anybody deter me from making sure my baby's foundation is successful. That's all I needed to hear. And for you to, pick up and do everything regardless of if anybody or nobody support you. So I don't care if nobody comes to the gala, it's gonna be done. And I was like, she gets it.
Mhm.
She finally
Mhm.
gets it. Like, so when it comes to planning, like, and everything turned out great. And it's continuing, like, you were so, like, full steam ahead, and I love that. And it just shows me, like, your work ethic is crazy. It's crazy. And even though I be, my laziness sometimes, it inspired me to just say, you know what? Okay, let's step up and do things different. And I told you a long time ago, wherever you want to do and wherever you want to go, I will follow you.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
so I mean, I've been trying to stick in there. I know it ain't easy dealing with me either, but because I get my little moves, but I think we know each other well enough,
We
and,
know each other well enough. We know each other well enough to say,
and
okay,
don't think it's all gravy. Sometimes we be going at it,
we be going at it.
but even in the midst of us going at it, not once was it. We would be going arguing back and forth, and then it'll be like, "I love you, I love you too," but I'm
But
mad.
anyway,
I'm mad, but I still love you. But yeah, I mean, it's just we're gonna be okay.
we're
We're
gonna be
gonna be
okay. We're gonna be okay.
yeah. Um, yeah, Nikki, she every time.
What
Um,
did you say?
Nikki said, hold on. Nikki said you gonna step every time.
All right, Nikki. I be trying, girl, 'cause walking in these shoes ain't easy. They sometimes hurt my feet, baby.
Definitely ain't easy, but you do it well. Okay, so ending this out. So finally, what legacy do you hope your work leaves behind for survivors, families, and the community you serve?
Um, let's speak up on empowerment. Let's empower one another. Let's build up one another. Let's give the survivors, if you are dealing with any, the opportunity to look into the mirror. And as I stated before, look into the mirror so they can remind themselves of who they were before the abuse started.
Right.
Let's walk this journey hand in hand because, again, as my ladies say, we're stronger together. I am here. I am here to help. I am here to serve. I am here to empower, to encourage. I am here sharing hope and inspiration. I am
Absolutely.
here.
Okay, so great show. Let's get into
Now,
a couple of little announcements. So, in terms of the gala, what's going
mhm.
on with the tables?
The gala, the Shy Foundation's seventh annual Christmas gala will be held December the 14th at Essence Event Lounge on Riverdale Road. All our tables are sold out. I want to say thank you to our gold sponsors for your purchases. Gold sponsors packages sold out. Additional tables sold out. We have one booth remaining, one that will be additional seating. But again, I appreciate you guys, and I thank you so very much for your support. So very much. Everything is sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
So
One booth
people
remaining at
in
$50. Seat four people. We will have top shelf bar, hookahs, dancing, fine dining. We will have a raffle. We will have the best dressed couple and the best dressed individual. And we're going to have a old school and new school showdown.
mm,
Uh-huh.
and I will not be selling tickets.
You're right. You're right.
So
And
y'all,
it's an entire grown-up vibe.
no
If
kids.
if a kid be there and I'm still fighting with them, it would be Ralph in honor of his mother.
Yeah, no kids. Don't bring your kids in there.
No kids.
Don't bring kids.
No kids.
Grown and sexy. Make sure you bathe. Put on your good clothes.
Amazing show lineup this year.
Yeah,
Amazing.
nice, elegant. We're gonna have a great time. Good
Great
food,
time. Great
great
time.
people, great cause.
Yes, yes,
Um.
yes.
Also, I'm
And
sorry.
tickets go on sale September 7th.
September the 7th.
September the 7th. Tickets go on sale.
Get your tickets early. Don't be, because it's more at the door.
$35 in advance, $50 at the door. And trust me, if you do not have a ticket,
Don't call up there. She not coming to the
I'm
front.
not coming to the front. And Warden Jessica and Jones will not let you in.
Right. We not we not calling nobody up to the front. Get your tickets in advance. $35. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can do something extra with that extra 15. So
Right.
get them early.
Are you a
Um,
good cocktail, baby?
all right. As promised, on September 27th, we will be at A's Walk Atlanta supporting our favorite people,
Bam.
Vision of Hope.
Vision of hope.
We need
Vision for hope.
100 people to come out and support the Vision of Hope team. 100. Okay? Come on out, register. It's for a great cause. You never know who, what, or yourself may need the services that result from the proceeds of the AIDS Walk Atlanta. So please come out and support. We're going to be out there vibing, having a good time. It's for a great cause. This is the QR code registration. You can go to the Vision of Hope page. They have more information on there. It's September 27th at Piedmont Park. Y'all be out there anyway. Y'all might as well come out for a great purpose. So come on.
Might
I'm
as
gonna come
well come
out
on
there.
out.
I'm coming out there. Okay? I'm gonna put on little powders because I don't want to chafe.
Wait a minute. You gonna put on what, Jim?
Powders because I don't want to be chafed. But I'm gonna be out in the park. I don't want to be alone.
Okay.
Y'all to come out with me. As always, Vision of Hope, they do great work. They do a lot of testing classes. They do a lot. They have they do a halfway house as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out and support them. They do a great cause. If anybody knows Dwayne or been the best friends, y'all know that he gives so much and so much from his heart. And so the very least we can do in this community is support him back. So y'all come out and support Vision of Hope at
Yes.
8 Atlanta on September 27th. Come out and come see me because I told you I'm gonna put some powders on, extra deodorant. I'm gonna bathe first because I don't want to be chafed. I might put them little, they got the little pads you can put on your inner thighs now so they don't rub together because you don't want to be raw.
I want you to stop right now.
You want to be raw when you're
I
out
want
there.
you to stop.
Because sometimes when a little bit fluffier like myself, your shorts kind of your thighs and they eat up your shorts a little bit and they might rub together, and we want to avoid that. But in the interim, y'all could come out and y'all could come see me and have a good time with me for a great cause. So don't forget, September 27th, Piedmont Park. The place where y'all used to hang out anyway. And sometimes
Hello.
was come on out, chill with us, and support Dwayne and the Vision of Hope. Okay, guys? All right. Any other announcements?
September the 13th, we will be doing a community feeding. So if there's anybody out there that wants to volunteer, be a part, if you want to donate toiletries, food, clothing, shoes, let us know. Inbox myself, Gemini, Jessica, Kenya, or Sean.
Don't inbox me because I just found out about this today. Don't inbox.
Inbox.
See,
Inbox.
when I tell you she be doing a lot now, and I'm so proud of her. Well, I'm a little too proud of her because she just told me
Yeah.
before we got on air that we do
No,
it.
yeah. Inbox
September,
again. It will be
September 13th.
September
Okay.
the 13th. Yeah.
Toiletries,
Toiletries, clothes, shoes,
all that.
food. Just inbox us if you just want to volunteer. That's fine. The more help, the more people we can service at a quicker rate. So just come out, be a part. Inbox one of us, and we'll get the details to you.
I'll get the details to you when I find out the details.
Right, 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 right,
Which
right.
will be
Right.
after this, so you can't inbox me.
You're right.
Please come out, guys. I promise you, it's so rewarding. The feeling that you have every time we go to a community event, I just it's a high I have, especially when we go service communities that we've been to before, and they recognize you and they just welcome you with open arms. I just love it. I just love it. It makes me feel like you doing something good for the community, but you get so much more back in return. So yeah, I try to pride myself on doing a certain amount of volunteer work every year, just to give back, and I encourage you to do the same. Okay, so to every advocate listening, thank you. To every survivor, you are believed, you are supported, and you are not alone. Let's continue showing up and speaking out and building safer communities, one
Yes, yes.
advocacy at a time. This is the Sharing Hope and Inspiration podcast. Until next time, keep sharing, keep hoping,
Hoping.
and keep standing for justice. We love you.
Love you
See
guys.
you guys soon. Thank you so much for your support, and good
Peace out.
night. We love you guys so
Love
much.
you guys. Love you, Jim.
Love
Bye.
you.
On victims to victors, hear the sound, lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation, sharing hope and inspiration. Podcasts. Podcasts.